All right, welcome back. In the last segment, we talked about the external factors, things that you have less control over because it has to do with the government, it has to do with the environment. We're going to talk about the things that you have more control over. These are more like the internal factors. So let's just quickly talk about this. Most of them we've talked about them before, but I just need to emphasize them because based on the fact that we don't have access, or most of us don't have adequate access to hospitals, to doctors, to the right drugs. It's incumbent. It behooves us. It's let me look for another word. It's critical that we, as citizens of Nigeria, people who live in Nigeria, learn the basic fundamental principles that govern health. And you can't get more fundamental and basic than diet, what you put in your mouth. And we talk about that a lot. I think that's the easiest thing to address. It doesn't mean that you have to stop eating pounded yam or fufu, but I'm saying that there are things in your diet that are missing, and so we need to add some things to it. So some of them you might need to supplement, and some of them are cheap enough. I would say everybody needs to take vitamin C. I would say everybody needs to take vitamin D, again, because vitamin D, we black people are deficient in vitamin D. It's a proven fact that we need more vitamin D than probably the white person does. So we need to take more vitamin D. Hygiene, dental hygiene, we've talked about things like your teeth. We know that if your teeth or your gums are unhealthy, there's a good chance it's going to affect your brain. It can predispose you to things like cancer and cardiovascular disease. Brush your teeth twice a day, morning and evening, at least, please. And of course, you need to floss as well. Exercise, I think there's no more important law than movement. If you're moving, you're alive. If you're not moving, you're dead, pretty much. And the more you move, the healthier, as a rule, you will be. Most of us, when we turn 30, we just tend to slow down and don't really care about a lot of things when it comes to exercise and movement. But I'm telling you, if you can get that part taken care of 2 to 3 times, maybe 3 to 4 times a week, some kind of exercise for about 30 minutes or more, you'll be doing your body a world of favor. Relationships are extremely important as well. We are a society that we're quite good at that. We value that connection we have. We're not too far removed from the days when we used to sit around the campfire and tell stories. I don't remember that ever happening to me, but I think that's what we used to do under the moonlight, of course. So relationships are extremely important. They are now finding out clear-cut relationships, clear-cut correlations between loneliness and even damage to your genes, damage to your DNA. So if you're lonely for an extended period of time, it can put you at the risk of chronic diseases, believe it or not. Your thoughts and emotions are important, your words. Now remember, can you remember what we categorize this under? It is the opinion of those who best understand the physical system that if the physical laws were strictly observed from generation to generation, there would be an end to the frightful diseases that cut life short, and of the long list of maladies that make life a torment or a trial, and that this wonderful machine, the body, this goodly temple, would gradually decay, and men would at last die, as if gently falling asleep. I love this quote by Mrs. Shedwick because it so captures the entire principles when it comes to the laws of life. And of course, I'm not saying that as long as you eat healthy and you sleep well, that you will absolutely not have any disease. Of course not. But I'm saying that you have a greater chance of living a longer life. And also you have a greater chance, if at all you have a sickness or a disease, you have a greater chance of recovering from that sickness and disease when your doctor is treating you adequately. Because a lot of medication, a lot of treatment, whether it's surgery or radiotherapy when it comes to cancer, a lot of the success of those depend on you observing these fundamental principles. These ones I've kind of pointed out to on the board, and again they will be on on your screen as well. The 7 laws of life, which basically says that the quality of your life depends on, one, the quality of your words, and so on and so on and so forth. If you don't obey these laws, your health can really never really be optimal, because the more you disobey them, the more your health will suffer. Again, these are not principles, they're not steps, they're not even rules, because rules can be broken, laws cannot. So these are the things that we really will be talking about this year. The internal factors, the ones you have control over; the external factors, the ones you don't have control over. And of course, I'm going to need to be bringing in a lot of guests to talk about these different topics. Mental health, absolutely. We live in an environment in Nigeria where we're being assailed from every angle, from the northeast, the Niger Delta region, the middle belts, the herdsmen fighting against the farmers, and vice versa. We are under a lot of stress, and I'm telling you, in the next 5 to 10 years, you will see a lot of these mental health issues come to the front. If at all they're not already, if they're not coming out already, there'll be much more. So it just is so important that we understand how to safeguard our mental health. We understand the things that can affect it, and we need to understand the things that we can do to to build resilience, and to build mental strength and energy, so you can overcome it. Another thing that we are working with the Federal Ministry of Health with is aging. Our population, we're now surviving past 50, surviving past 60, surviving past 70. We're dealing with an aging population. We will start dealing with an aging population. Still have a lot of young people, but more and more people are getting older, and we don't have as much in place. So it's important that we understand the things that affect the older people and how we can safeguard their health or improve their health. So it's those are other things we'll be talking about. But please, again and again, we have to wrap up at this point, but send in your suggestions, your comments. We would really appreciate it. We will not be able to address all of them at the same time, all of them at once, but we would appreciate it if you send in your comments. As always, we will be talking about the tip of the day, or tip of the week. So the tip of the week is that please spend some more time in the sun. If you have a nice backyard where you can walk around, I would say take off your shirt, wear shorts, walk around. If you're going to Jabi Lake Park or the park and all that, I know you have all these nice designer tops and wears that you can use to shine and all that. Wear shorts this time, okay? And you'll be glad you did, because sunlight is so important. Okay, this kind of like wraps things up for the show. Wishing you the very best of 2020, and we will see you next week. God bless.